You are listening to the Disruptor series. Our world is constantly evolving, and at the forefront of that change are women who dare to disrupt. I'm Jennifer Fields.
And I'm Sydney Robertson. Join us as we bring you an exclusive look into the journeys of visionary female founders and influential corporate leaders.
Get ready for candid conversations, a dose of inspiration, and actionable takeaways from the disruptors themselves. Let's dive in.
Welcome to another episode of the Disruptor Series podcast. We are here with the wonderful Lindura, the recurring guest star of Sullivan's Crossing, which is a wonderful show on Netflix. She plays the character Sydney, which is a wonderful character. Jen and I are huge fans of the show. And here today, we're going to talk a little bit about her journey to where she is today in her show, as well as her backstory. Funnily enough, she wasn't even an actor to begin with. She started off as a scientist, cognitive behavioral science, I believe.
Cognitive science, yeah.
Cognitive science. So we're here to talk to her a little bit about her journey as a biracial actress and model as well, and understanding how she got to acting from her background. So Lindura, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to be here.
Yes. Well, I guess just to begin, let's hear a little bit about your story, like how you got to where you are today.
Oh, it's a long story. I'll try to keep it brief so as not to ramble on forever. But acting was never really in my sights as a child. Mm-hmm. And looking back now in hindsight, I can see all of the moments where I'm like, this makes so much sense. But at the time, I grew up in a household where my dad was very into education. He is from Ghana, and the education system over there is peak. Like he would always be comparing, like, he's like, at your age, this is what I was doing in school. And it's advanced compared to like what we were learning. But he took it upon himself to always be teaching us things. So like I learned to read at like the age of 3. We were doing math. I was like learning speed equals distance over time at the age of like 7. And I'm like, it's fine. Thanks, Dad. Like, thanks, Dad, for this very foundational experience in my life. But that, I think, put my mind into this place of like, okay, so the way you do life, how you go about doing life is you learn a lot of things and you become very good at something. Mm-hmm. And then you eventually like get a job doing what it is that you thought you'd be good at. But essentially like go to school, do well in school so that you can have a scholarship to pay for your school, because we also did not come from money. So it was very much like just like this sort of like intellectual focus. So anything creative in my mind was for fun. And in fact, like anytime I had to do it as like a project, like an art project or this like creative thing as a project, I kind of felt a little bit stressed or boxed in, or like it's not fun anymore. So I don't want it. Like I literally was like, I don't want to be an art. Like I was talented at like visual arts at a point in time. And I was like, but I don't even want to be a visual artist because then it won't be fun.
Right.
Because if I have to do it as a job,
yes,
it's not fun anymore. So in my mind, there was like life and job, and they were kind of separate. And job didn't have to be fun. It just had to be like, you make the money, you do the thing, and you work your way up the ladder. So that's why I was never picturing myself in a creative field as a form of employment.
It wasn't even an option to you.
It wasn't an option to me at all. And so I, like you mentioned, I have a bachelor's degree in cognitive science. Yes. And somewhere along the way, I think during my honors thesis, I realized I'm like, oh, I am not someone who can study the same thing for that long because I will get bored.
Yeah.
And that was actually the only reason mostly that I chose cognitive science as the thing that I wanted to study was that it's 5 fields. So it's neuroscience, linguistics, philosophy, psychology, and what am I missing? Did I say computer science?
No.
Computer science.
There. Okay.
So it's like a lot of things to keep me interested and be like, okay, great. I'm not going to get bored because there's all these different 5 things that I can learn about. And so, yeah, when it came to like doing an honors thesis and having to focus on one topic for a year, I was like, no, this is not for me. So yeah, that kind of enlightened me into realizing, okay, there's something here. I don't know what I want to do. Mm-hmm. I didn't have all these like ambitions and goals that most people have growing up where they're like, I want to do that. I didn't have that.
But so you did graduate though, right?
I graduated.
Yeah, and you got your bachelor's. Yeah. So you did it to the end.
I did it to the end. Yeah, no, I stuck it through for sure. And did enjoy it, and still to this day, like enjoy learning about those topics.
Right.
But traveling Europe as like my graduation gift, my dad bought me a flight to Europe. So me and my sister backpacked Europe for a bit. And I think I just had this realization that people can kind of do whatever they want.
You're like, wait a minute.
I'm like, wait
how can
a
this be?
second. They can just be happy.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's the difference between like Europe and North America, is that like the difference that I saw, at least at that time in my life, was that like they live to enjoy life.
Yeah.
And we sort of live to make money and feel stable and feel secure and have things.
Have
so,
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Is
was
it live
a
to
different
work
thing.
to live? You know,
Yes.
that dichotomy.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you fit there? How could there be a middle ground there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then I came back and was like, you know what, I'm just going to enjoy my life. So I worked at a bank. I worked at restaurants. I worked as like what is it even called? I don't even remember what the job title officially was, but like working at the airport in the valet section, like greeting and like organizing the cars that have to go into the valet essentially from 5 a.m. to 9 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
So I would do that, and then I would go do auditions, and then I would go work at the restaurant till like 2 a.m. and then I would do it over the next day. So it was like a lot of work to enjoy my life. But that's the thing, I was enjoying my life. And it's not like all of my friends were going and getting like these lovely titles of jobs and like, you know, doing the whole normal, I guess, thing. And I was out
The
here just like
traditional path.
the traditional. Yeah, I shouldn't say normal. That has a bad connotation. But the more traditional path.
At that point. Yeah.
Weren't your parents freaking out though?
Yes.
Yeah. They're probably like, when
Entirely.
are you coming home and when are you going to get a real job, right?
Yeah. No, for sure. Because like that was not a financially stable choice necessarily. Like it was always like, I made sure that I had enough money to pay rent and buy food. And that's why I was like, I was always willing to do work, which was helpful. But yeah, being in a career where you're trying to have a job that's not guaranteed, where you're constantly like auditioning for something and constantly like, is this going to happen? Or am I going to, it was always this notion of like, I think also having the bachelor's degree gave me the security to know that like, if this doesn't work out, if at any point I get too tired to keep doing this whole like hustle, and if it's just like not panning out, I have something to fall back on in that like, there's other things I'm interested in. I at least have a degree to be able to get some sort of job. Like there were foundational skills that I had that I'm like, it's fine.
You had an anchor.
Because at the end of the day, if this whole creative flow and pursuit doesn't pan out, there's other options in my life. Like this doesn't have to be my everything.
Right.
So that was, I think, helpful in allowing me to get to where I am today and now be like a full-time actor, model, human being.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the journey.
Yeah.
What are the types of careers you could have had in cognitive science?
Oh, it's kind of vast. For me personally, I would have probably gone either into something to do with marketing and probably research, like psychological behavioral research, with the application, I think, of marketing, sales, etc. You can also, like, a couple of people went the linguistics route and started to study more sociology type of things and travel and do all sorts of like language work. There's so many applications of it, to be honest, because it's literally, and especially now with AI,
Yeah.
that's another huge piece that like is a whole other avenue you can take with it. It's basically like, how do we design the world in a way that caters to the way our brains work? And how do we learn from the way our brains work to now train computer systems to do things better than we can? So a lot of applications.
Well, and also, do you find that it's showing up in your work as an actress?
Not consciously,
Okay.
but maybe subconsciously, because all the skills that you pick up in life, you're going to use them, whether you know you're using them or not. And so I think cognitive science, the ability to look at one, not problem, but like one sort of scenario and see it from all these different angles. Oopsie. Yeah, sorry, Mike. And to see it from like the lens of, okay, so we're looking at, you know, how do I formulate a sentence? How does that even work? And you're looking at it from the lens of like the chemical processes in your body, and you're looking at it from like brain imaging, and you're looking at it from philosophical ideas of like, what does consciousness even mean? And like, how does thought actually, what does it mean to have a thought? Like, so to look at a problem from so many different angles, I think is a great thing in a creative pursuit.
Yeah.
Because it allows you to like have an open mind about what you're looking at and what you're doing. But that's very meta. I feel like on my day-to-day, I'm not thinking about it.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I listened to the podcast you're on at the DNA podcast, and he was saying how you are like crazy, super smart, but you are also exceptionally beautiful, which is why you've also like pursued modeling. So you're working in an industry where, physical beauty is so at the forefront of what you do. And with that must come like a lot of like pressures and feelings of like, your self-esteem being impacted as well. So just wondering, like, how do you navigate that? Because that is so hard, and to constantly being assessed and evaluated, and how do you stay grounded?
So the honest answer is that I think for a long time, I was not acknowledging that it was having an impact on me. Which I think is maybe just a strategy in my life in general, is that things will be happening. And part of this, I think, is a plus. Like, I actually know this about myself now. Like, there is a benefit to always seeing the bright side, to always seeing the positive, and kind of just automatically filtering out the negative. Wherein, like, I just don't even notice it. Like, people would ask me that question and I would go, actually, my experience hasn't been that stressful. Like, it hasn't been that, like, no one is out here commenting on like, your hips are too big today or something. Like, I've actually never experienced some of the things that other models especially have experienced in the industry. So in one sense, yay, I guess, like, thank you to the angels and gods and guardians who are just like providing me with a lovely experience of the industry. But B also is like, as I guess, continue in this industry and start to notice more things and start to be more real with myself, I'm like, oh, wait, this stuff maybe is impacting me, even if it's not like these verbal direct comments. It's just the notion of what it means to be beautiful, the constant comparison to other people based on the fact that you're just seeing a lot of images, and that does have an impact on your psyche and your subconscious biases. So all of it has been impacting me. I just, until recently, haven't been able to acknowledge that. So I preface my answer with that. And now my answer is, I think, going back to that filter of kind of knowing that other people's opinions don't really matter, knowing that that's where I want to land, helps me navigate. Because at any point in time, we will be impacted by things, and we will not always have the best self-talk and we won't. I have so much negative self-talk. But to know that, like, that's not the person I want to be. Like, I don't want to be bogged down by these stereotypes, these standards, because I don't believe in them. And I see beauty in so many forms. And I think the industry is starting to reflect that, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of people will disagree with me, but I think there's more, so much more exposure and acceptance of multiple body types, multiple skin tones, multiple experiences. Like, representation really does matter for those reasons, because it helps all of our like subconscious biases to shift.
I feel like with you though too, just given your background, like, you have a strong sense of self. And I think that's granted with what your dad taught you growing up as well. Like, I think that definitely probably bodes well for you, because I think sometimes you hear of women that aren't anchored in anything, and it's like, then it's hard for them to have a sense of identity. So maybe also that the fact that you have a good sense of self helps you not be, or be more resilient against those kind of comments, if there were any out there, right?
I think also huge credit to my mom. She unintentionally helped me navigate this industry because of no, intentional doing of her own, but she's just not anyone that focuses on looks or like growing up. We weren't allowed to wear makeup. That's a whole other story. But like, she wasn't like someone that like spent a lot of time focusing on her looks. So consequently, we didn't internalize that we needed to like focus on our looks as like this. And I mean me and my sister, like, as this essential quality of our being. So I still definitely have those aspects of like, and I also just love aesthetically beautiful things. Like, I'm just that person. I just love
when beautiful rings you have on right now.
I know, right?
I just love it. Mesmerized by your jewels. Like, you just appreciate beauty. You appreciate beauty.
I appreciate beauty
in every form.
I appreciate beauty in every form. Yeah. And so to appreciate it, but to know that it's not like the be all end all of like, I can leave my house without makeup and I don't care.
Yes.
I can leave my house looking a hot mess, and the people who are closest to me will know this. Like, I have like two modes, and one is like, how do they describe this? I can't remember the term we use, but one of them is basically like, I'm either looking like Beyonce leaving the house, or I'm looking like Justin Bieber. Like, I don't even know what that is, but we love it either way.
Either way.
But I'm happy either way. So just, I think, knowing that really at the end of the day, despite the temptation to like fix things about the way I look and like the very real, still internal feeling that I have of like, oh, I can't change size.
Yeah.
Even though no one's even putting that on me. Like, quite honestly, no one is telling me don't change size. It's me. But at the same time as all of that is going on inside my body and like realistically, even like things like Botox that I've never done or like lip fillers that I've never done, all of the like cosmetic things that I could change about myself that I like still contemplate and I like ask people about and I'm like, but what if? And like, so how did that go for you?
Well, it's hard, in your industry, it's hard not to be curious about it just because it's happening, I'm sure, all around you, whether you're partaking or not, right? It's like,
and like, I realize now, like looking back like 10 years ago when I had so many complaints about like, oh, this isn't good enough. Random physical complaints that we can find about ourselves. And now I'm looking at these photos going, I was freaking beautiful. What's wrong with me? So I'm trying not to waste any more time in the present moment critiquing my physical self.
So you have this wonderful role as Sydney on Sullivan's Crossing. I mean, that's like one of the top shows on Netflix. But I mean, there's been so many roles, I'm sure, along the way that you tried out for and haven't gotten, or whether it's a modeling gig, whether it's a commercial, whether it's any show leading to where you are today. How do you then get your head around, you know, not getting those roles or not fitting in for those roles?
I am so grateful that I am a very forgetful person.
Yeah.
Thank you, brain. That is actually my answer. Like 100,000%. It is that I don't remember all the things that I go out for, and I don't focus too much on thinking about them. I don't know. When I do an audition, I do it. And as soon as it's done and sent off, it's out of my brain.
Oh, that's so healthy. I think that's so healthy that you're not lingering and
I'm not
replaying it in your mind.
I mean, I will still. And also just, I even on the show, like as we're filming now, I'll find myself like focusing on like the upcoming scripts, but then looking back to be like, what did I do in that scene? And oh man, I should have done this other thing. Like I linger. I do linger. And I do that in my self-tapes too sometimes where I'm like, oh, I should have done this other thing. And like, oh, what if I like, but I think it's a mix of forgetting and then also the longer I've done this, and I'm a rookie, I've not done it for that long, but the length of time of just sending things off and sending things off and sending things off, it almost helps you just naturally build up resilience, at least for me, because you realize that a lot of it doesn't have to do with you. Like a lot of these choices are not because you are not worthy, because you are not beautiful enough, because you are not tall enough, because you are not whatever enough. Sometimes it is that simple. And it's like, we went with the actor who was 5'9" or 5'6" because the other person playing across from him needs to be this.
Yeah.
Like I've heard stories.
It has nothing to do with
I've heard stories of it being that simple, like a choice. So it's like just knowing that like what's out of your control is out of your control, but trusting that like what's for you will find you. And maybe I've just been blessed also to have these different avenues to focus on, that even if in one realm I'm feeling like nothing is moving forward and I'm trying and nothing's happening, there's these other avenues that I can focus on, whether that's like if I want to do more modeling or if I want to focus more on like being in community and like making change and hosting events and focusing on sustainable fashion or plastic free Toronto, which I run with my sister. Like I have different, I guess, avenues for filling up my life and my time that helps to maybe distract me from when things are technically like on paper not going well. Yeah.
Well, your role as Sydney on Sullivan's Crossing, you are also a former model, right, on the show. What are some things about that character that feel most true to you, and where do you find that you differ?
Ooh. The things that are naturally in both me and Sydney, I think, that I've given her are the way we interact with the world and people. We're both free spirits. We're both highly emotional beings and like can feel into other people's emotions. So a lot of Sydney on that show is really listening to other people, mainly Maggie, telling me, you know, things going on in her life and me, you know, relating to it and helping her find clarity and also finding clarity at the same time. So it's like this very like these deeply emotional connections which I think that show is just based on. Like it is all based on like what's in the heart. So that's been a blessing to be able to play that, because it's nice to just explore that within myself too. And then where we differ, she's like more hot-headed and stronger than I am. Like the way she states opinions, sometimes I'm like, okay. We just said that. And like,
She does get spicy.
she gets really spicy.
With your brother and stuff.
That's what
She's
I'm saying.
like,
She's like, no, that's stupid. That's foolish. Don't do that.
Yeah, or with Maggie. I mean,
Or with
also,
Maggie
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like, I don't know. Have you thought about that? Like, she's just more.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like the last person to tell anyone what to do. Will not. Like, I will listen. I will reflect back to you something, but it's never going to be like with the same strength and like confidence in an opinion of my own. I don't have that.
Is there something that you wish for her in the future?
Oh my gosh. Yes. I wish for her to stop seeking, but that would make for a boring show, so maybe I don't. To stop seeking this like external validation that she seeks from other people, because she'll be so strong and opinionated in some fronts, and then when it comes to her romantic life, it's like, even when she is strong, it's not from a place of true confidence. It's from a place of like deep insecurity and like fear, which I don't know if you can like read that at surface level when you watch the show, but like deep down, that's in my mind where she's coming from.
She feels like left behind sometimes.
Yeah.
Like that's the feeling you get, at least from season 1, where, you know, like Maggie's off being this like, you know, neurosurgeon, doing her thing. And Sydney feels a bit left behind. And like when there's like, she's not to get deep into all the episodes, but like when Maggie's going through her stuff with like the trial and all the things at the beginning, and then she leaves and comes back, and Sydney's like takes it very personally. She's like, feels like she's again been left behind.
She's really trying to figure out, she's like, what is this life? What's for me in this
She gives
life?
up so much for others, right?
It's that. Like her whole life is just like, okay, well, what can I do for Rob? What can I do for this person? And like, how can I be everything for everyone else? And so when she starts to finally be like, okay, no, wait, how can I be me for me? Yeah, she gets a little spicy and she's still figuring it out.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm excited for you to watch the new season, because it's a lot about that, her journey to like find herself. But,
so if I look at your IMDb, which like, okay, all my favorite things, like I just by accident saw you on a Christmas movie on Netflix last week. I was going through like the scroll, and then this one came up of you. You played a socialite, basically, the royal one.
That was so fun.
But when I went deep on your IMDb, you've done a lot of Christmas movies.
Yeah.
A lot. Is there like an affinity towards Christmas? I'm just curious,
I
because
do.
you've done a lot.
I
I'm like,
honestly
can I please be a
love
guest
them.
star one? Because
Some people really don't like them, and I'm like
obsessed.
Give me a rom-com, give me a Christmas movie, anything lighthearted and fun. I'm here for it.
Is that why? Because you like, that seems to be your mantra for life, is anchoring around fun. Like, do you gravitate towards roles that anchor on fun as well?
Yeah, but I can find fun in like many things, because like for me right now, like what's fun is to play something that's not me. So like the darker
side.
Yeah, and maybe that's why a little bit of the socialite was fun, because I'm like, I'm not really that person, but this is fun.
Yeah, I mean, I've only met you once in person before, but like you are very light and lovely and soft, and that character was very, she was very hoity-toity and kind of a bit mean. Little,
right?
She's a little mean.
A little mean.
Side came out.
A little mean, yeah. I think for me, because I'm so new, I just want to try all the things and go deeper into all the things. Because every time I watch them, I'm like, oh, I could have done more. I wasn't even that mean. I thought I was so mean. I could have been worse. So it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to like experiment with that. But like the logistical answer to that question also is like, why have I done so many Christmas movies? Is probably because, so I started as a model, and through that, like I didn't have a TV film agent. Like I didn't have a theatrical agent. I had a modeling agent, a commercial agent. And it wasn't until like I did like over 80 commercials, and eventually kind of sometime in that process realized that like I like the challenge of acting. And that's why I was like, oh, I want to do more. And my commercial agent at the time was phenomenal. She has a relationship with Brain Power Studio that shoots a lot of the MOW, so a lot of the Christmas movies and things like that. And a lot of the lighthearted like rom-coms. They've since expanded, and they're doing a lot of stuff now, but because that was her relationship with them, those were the roles that I was being seen for. because she had a good relationship with them. So I think it's also that, you know, it's maybe the energy that I put out and I naturally just fit into certain archetypes. But then also it's like who your team is and what they're submitting you for. And yeah, both things matter. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, a lot of female actresses have shared that they feel like a lot of the roles that get offered to them are like very one-dimensional or tokenized. And just wondering if you felt that you felt pressure to have to play those types of roles. And if you haven't, how did you avoid that?
I have an interesting relationship to my identity in that I'm loosely attached to it. And I think that comes from the fact that I am half white and half black, and growing up in both worlds makes you neither. And you realize that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this constant process of like, I now understand that I am perceived by other people as a pretty black woman who's still youthful. That's how I'm perceived. But how I actually feel in my body is not always that. So even when I get certain roles that are like stereotypical of a woman, or what you could say stereotypical of a black woman, I don't necessarily even always identify. And not in a bad way of like, I don't identify, but just in this way of like, to recognize or to feel a type of way about receiving a certain role or being cast as a certain thing, it means you have to be like deeply attached to your identity in a way. Like, but that's not me, or like, that is me, but I want to also be seen as this. And I think because I'm loosely attached to my identity, it hasn't like rubbed me the wrong way as much as when I see it happening with other people and hearing stories from them about their experiences, that I'm like, oh, yeah, that does suck, you know?
Yeah.
And like sometimes people even have to call things out that like are my experience, but I just wasn't perceiving it that way. And then they'll tell me something and they'll be like, you know, this is kind of weird that this, and they'll insert whatever sentence about a character or a role or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My kids are half Korean and half white, and they also don't see themselves as like either as well. So I can understand and relate to what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah.
I like grew up my life, like my childhood life, kind of thinking in my mind that I was, not that I was white, but like most of the people in my school were white and most of my friends were white. And like my mom's family is here, whereas my dad's family is in Ghana and the UK and like elsewhere. So like a lot of the people I grew up with were white. So my experience of the world is through that lens for a lot of my life. And so it is really weird to then realize the way that other people perceive you is not the way that you've been perceiving yourself. And then just all of the nuances. Man, adulthood is a trip.
Yeah. I mean, you're still so young. I mean, at the end of the day, like you have a whole journey ahead of you. Yeah. But I mean, you talk about identity, which is key, and maybe seeing duality in that or beyond duality. Yeah. But as you're moving forward, and we were talking before we got on set here around like even just living, like you're shooting in Halifax, you have your mom's home here in Toronto, you spent time in New York. Yeah. I mean, whether it's like dating or career, like how are you faring all of that? Because, you know, like you said about identity, it's like, okay, you're not identifying yourself as an activist or as an actor or as a black woman or a white woman or a model, but like, how do you tie it all together and have that rooted, anchored self when you're literally living all over the world?
I think other people's knowledge and spirituality and support of me anchors me. I think that's what it is. It's that
nice.
At the end of the day, I think I at some point, I don't know when, at some point in my life, I started learning more about, is it Buddhism? Is it manifestation? Just
it all kind of intertwines, I feel, right?
It all kind of intertwines, but like my spiritual journey, I think grounded me in the knowledge, like at some point I must have read a book or something, but it grounded me in the knowledge that like all that really matters is right now. And so I don't like to stress myself out. Like I think I can have a lot of anxiety internally but I don't ever want to let that be the way I'm walking through life.
Right.
So
what are your catches when you find yourself getting that internal anxiety? What are your outlets? Like, how do you kind of catch it while it's happening?
Yeah. So sometimes meditation. I have an app on my phone called Activations.
Oh my gosh. I've heard wonderful
obsessed.
things.
Yeah?
I'm
I've
obsessed.
never heard of this.
Yes.
I'm obsessed. I will continue paying for that subscription
Yes.
because it is so helpful. And it's these
Can you tell
short
Jenny a bit about what it is?
Yeah,
'Cause
I've
it's
never
super
heard
cool.
of it.
Yeah, it's an app that I'm sorry for not knowing who is
I've heard her
founding it and
interviewed.
who is
She's
actually
amazing.
recording
I've
it.
heard her interviewed on
interviewed
many
too,
podcasts.
and she's wonderful.
She's amazing.
Don't know your name,
Yes,
but
I forgot
thank
her
you
name as
for-
well, but she's amazing.
Thank you for
yes.
your contribution to my life and many people's. She's recorded these short segments that are kind of like pep talks for grounding yourself. So I honestly feel like they are meditations. Like people meditate in various forms, but for me, it is very much a meditation. And there's ones for sleep. There's ones for like getting ready before a meeting. There's ones for like how to embody lucky girl energy, how to just short little clips, like how to recenter after like a bad moment, how to like ground yourself after you've had like a fight or what. Like there's so many different recordings that she has that you can find one for anything in your life. And it is, I guess, women centric, but listening to those helps. Like sometimes I'll just pop one of those on. Sometimes it's
Thank
a
you
little.
for inspiring me. I'm definitely
Yeah.
I've been thinking about it for a while, and like after you saying that, I've never met somebody else who's actually done it, but I've heard such great thing on her podcast, and so I'm gonna check it out.
Is it just like all about reinforcing positivity?
Yeah.
Okay.
Essentially.
It's like, but it's like almost like these micro manifestations in a way that are like
That too.
literally like you can be on the move. It's not like you have to. I think sometimes like
Right.
for me, meditation, I'm not very good at sitting still for very long, and it becomes a painful experience. I've tried all the conventional ways. So what I heard about activations is that you can do it on the go. You can do it in these micro moments, but if you listen to them, it's almost like patterned where it starts to actually like impact your goals and whatever you're doing.
Yeah, essentially it is subconscious reprogramming
Yes.
at its finest. And there's some that she has for like while you're out on a walk. There's some for while you're cleaning your house. There's some for like manifesting a certain amount of money, and it's all just visualization. A lot of it is just visualization, but that's everything.
That's how she found her
our thoughts
husband.
are everything.
Yeah, she literally was like thought about it and ended up being someone she knew from before. When she's like, I'm gonna find my man this week or whatever, and then it was like ended up being her husband. It was wild.
on.
Yeah.
But honestly,
Wow.
like
Yeah.
I think this is like my biggest secret that I'm only now discovering myself. Is my whole life I thought like I needed to have specific goals and like spend the day very strategically working towards them and in the hustle and grind of things, and the whole notion of like to do great things you have to do hard work.
Yes.
And I think what I'm realizing now is that like, at least for me, and everyone's going to be different, but for me, that's not what works. For me, actually, I float through life and I just daydream a little bit and then things come to me. It's the strangest, but like this podcast and this experience of even meeting you at that event was very much just this daydream of being like, oh man, I really wish I had more community in Toronto.
And that's what you
like,
said.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So Lindura came to our Bond to Bloom event.
Yeah.
We were seated side by side at the dinner. And you were saying that you're like, I really want to start building my community.
Yeah.
And so when we were formulating this podcast, as Jenny, we have to have Lindura on because she's part of this amazing community. And like so many people can learn from you. And like, I think there's like an energy about you that's just like, you have so much, like you're young, but you're so wise.
So wise.
And you're like
glad you
open
think
to,
so.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should see some of my dating choices. You would realize it's not the case.
That's a whole other show. I know.
Whole other show.
We're here for, by the way. So
Yeah. But I think just essentially, just having this knowledge that hard work works for some people and like that mindset works for some people for sure. But like what actually works for me, and to just honor myself and like allow that to be like accept myself that like I am a daydreamer at heart and I am a feeler at heart, and like I go for what feels good in the moment maybe, or like what feels good in a week, but that's okay. Like I don't have to like structure my life in such a way that I'm like constantly like trying to achieve something specific. Like I can allow things to flow into my life. Even I would say Sullivan's was very much that. It came to me like I have no right to be on the show. Thank you for whoever thank you, Roma Roth, for hiring me. And even she admitted, like, she's a very candid person, and I love her for that, because she was like, when we first hired you, I didn't know if you're going to be any good. So the role wasn't intentionally like supposed to be what it's become. And it's so beautiful to realize that, because that it literally was a daydream. And it's funny because we were talking about this right before, but I was watching Gilmore Girls randomly, like rewatching an episode. And I just had this thought, and I was like, wow, it would be really fun to be on a show where like, it's its own little community, and like in this little town, and it's very like familial feeling. And it was a fleeting thought.
Wow.
It wasn't even like,
Oh,
this is what I want to do. Like, it was just a fleeting thought of like, oh, that would be nice. That would be really nice. And then lo and behold, I'm on this show that's small town, feeling really good.
I mean, Luke is Sullivan. I mean, that's not any more of a crossover than
Yes,
that.
it was an interesting thing to realize. And like, I did a self-tape. Like, there wasn't a huge audition process for it. It was one self-tape.
Yeah.
And suddenly I was getting a call like, you're booked. What?
Wow.
How? And I didn't realize like the scope of it at the time, and like how grateful I am to have the show, like to be on a show that's so well received that
But I mean, at the
people
time,
resonate
I mean, like,
with is like, it's insane.
You were in
Like,
the
I
pilot
wouldn't have-
episode. You were literally there from the inception of the show.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, you're in
how
the
would
very
you have
first.
known
Yeah.
like at that point that it was gonna be so successful? Like, you're one of the top shows on Netflix now. Like,
Yeah.
how would you have known? Like, you were part of that evolution of
Yeah.
success.
But I just feel like had I had a specific goal, I wouldn't have been available for the even better life that I have now.
Right.
That's how I feel, truly. So like,
Yeah.
people ask me all the time, like, what's your 5-year plan? Or like, what do you want to do next? And I don't have an answer, and I'm not faulting myself for that anymore,
No.
because I just want to be in flow, and I just want to be in this moment and trust that the next moment will also be wonderful. And the next moment after that will also be wonderful. So I think that's also maybe the answer to like why I don't that's my answer to like how I unstress myself when I get caught up in that rat race and caught up in the like comparison or whatever, the rejection of it all. It's just that I don't think I see it that way. And the work that I do is out of genuine love for doing the work. It's not out of like, oh, I feel like I need to work hard. It's just like, oh, well, I'm curious about this, and I want to be better at this. And like, oh, I want to spend my time working on that. It's just, it all flows from like this genuine desire to just enjoy my life. Yeah.
This connection with spirituality, it's making me think of the woo.
The woo.
Do you meet with like a spiritual coach or anything?
I
like
have
that?
a hypnotherapist. I have a psychotherapist. And then I have, like I said, like a beautiful community of people around me that ground me in spirituality. My dad being one of those people, he has always been a very open-minded Christian. That's the categorization I'll give him. And his faith, even though it's not prescriptive, he's never forced it upon us. Just his own grounding in his faith and seeing how it impacted his life and how it's something that he falls back on is something that like allows me to remember to like, oh yes, gratitude. Oh yes. So that's like one anchor. And then like friends who also like are in our community, like Charlotte Singman, who is a wonderfully spiritual human being. And once again, like not in a prescriptive way of like, you don't necessarily know that from meeting her once, but just the way that she goes about living her life and the way that we have conversations about the grounded place that we want to move from and the people that we want to be, as opposed to like talking about, I don't know, other things. It's just the conversations I'm having with the people who are around me, I think, allow me to stay very grounded and spiritually focused. My sister as well. Like she's
By the way,
crazy.
are you guys
She's
twins?
so cool.
And your posts, like, have you seen, like,
No.
sometimes I get mixed up as to who's
We
which.
look like twins.
You
We
look like twins.
often talk like very similarly and we'll finish each other's sentences. So it's strange that we're not, but we're not at all. She's 2 years older and she essentially is a doctor by trade,
Okay.
but has studied Ayurvedic medicine as well.
Oh.
So she's got the two perspectives there, and then went and did like a whole yoga teacher training.
Wow.
And is just like a deeply intellectual person as well. So is always studying something.
So never boring
literally has read
conversations.
So many things. Never
At the
boring
dinner table.
conversations. I'm like, my pseudo siblings is what I call them. We're not related, but we grew up together. There's 3 of them. And they're also just very interesting people.
Oh, that's so fun though.
And so we've always just had really good, deep conversations.
I was like just talking the day to my partner, and I was saying how I miss like the days, like my parents also were very big on like dinner time conversations. We always had like an atlas and encyclopedia beside us at the dinner table. So my dad's background, like he studied history and literature, and he was a lawyer by trade, but was a meaty lawyer. So we were always talking about, like very current topics in the news, but then also would always end up with us looking somewhere in an atlas. And I can only imagine like, what was your dinner table like growing up with these amazing, brilliant people?
Yeah. We had a lot of house parties. That sounds so wild. We had a lot of house parties growing up. No, but like my parents loved to invite people over, and we had an open door policy growing up. So there was always usually like family around or people around. So we weren't necessarily the type of family that always sat down to dinner.
Okay.
Like we all did like our own we had our own individual schedules of extracurriculars and all this stuff. So we were a very like grab and go for a long time. But when we did get together, like when we do have these dinners, like my aunt and uncle are like some of my best friends. And when all of us are together, the conversations almost always get geopolitical and or just like, what's that word where we're like, we start to envision the world and how it could be, or like we're just questioning something constantly. For Christmas last year, we did a family Christmas in Halifax, which was so fun.
Oh, so pretty.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
So my aunt, my uncle, my sister, her boyfriend, parents, all like so many of us, we got together in this Airbnb house. And like one of the things we did was like we read a book and had like a book club.
Oh my God, I love that.
My sister, like a month before, was like, this is the book, read it so that we can
you
discuss
all read
it
it together. And
it's so funny. I honestly read like 2 chapters of it and was like, I'm going to just sit here for the conversation because I'm not, like it takes me 6 months to finish one book.
Audible, man, I tell you, that's my favorite.
True.
Yeah.
When I'm in Ontario,
so I'm like, put on
all
the Audible.
driving helps me get through books. But when I'm anywhere else in the world, I'm like, no, 6 months to finish one book.
I hear you.
So yeah, I read 2 chapters of it, but it was called Hope for Cynics. And we had like a big discussion around the dinner table at Christmas about this book and like how to be more hopeful and how to like not lose hope. And what does cynicism even mean? It was a lot of, honestly, my family is way smarter than me. So a lot of the things they say go way over my head, but I love to listen and I love to ask questions. And so I think that's what I contribute.
Be curious.
I'll just sit
That's
there
the best thing to be in life.
Ask a question and be like, but what if this?
Yeah, but that's how you evolve, right? Is being curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aside from your friends and your family, do you have anyone who really inspires you today?
Ooh, oh my gosh. So many people right now, because what's top of mind is all the people that I'm working with right now. And so many of them inspire me. Like Amalia, who just finished doing leading her own show essentially with Brooke Shields. Incredible woman. And is also like writing a bunch and doing things on the side. She's phenomenal. I don't know how she does all these things. And she's a huge inspiration. Literally every one of my co-stars, I would say, I look up to all of them, even the ones that like are new this year. Like hands down, all of them, I'm like, wow. Like there's something in each of them that makes them so cool to me. Whether it's like their work ethic or the way they treat other people on set or who they are outside of their work. Like Andrew Menard is one of the coolest people. And I think like part of one of the people who I think like grounds me as well and like has allowed me to become who I am is literally like having her go on walks with me in the forest and like listen to my heart and like listen to me cry about things. And her also just like being so grounded in who she is and guiding these new moon circles that she guides and just like all of just seeing her life and her process and how she's gotten to like where she is. It's like helped remind me that like it's okay to be me. It's okay to be different. It's okay to like do the things that I want to do, even if that's not like the typical thing that people would do.
Do you guys all live in the same house together?
No, you would think the way I talk
or
about
have
them.
dinner together.
You spend all your days together.
We do a lot of dinners. No, there is a lot of work that happens, which is not just socializing, but I just really love to get to know people. So any chance that I get, like I will go see them and like we hang out when we're not filming. So that's fun. But no, we do not live in the same house at all.
Yeah.
must be fun though. You were saying before, like how you're now rewatching the show, and when you're on set and you're in your moment, you're in your character Sydney, and you're doing your dynamic of your scenes, but then to see it as an observer, like, is it weird sometimes? Yeah,
It's like, I think for me, like just seeing, I don't find it weird to see myself. Like,
no, but seeing the
that
story coming
is
together,
like,
right? Because you're part of the story, but then like
but
seeing the
full thing
Yeah.
is really fun. And I love table reads for that reason, because you really get to like watch the story. It's like someone's like reading the story to you, and you get to just like be the observer at the same time as you're part of the story. So I love the table reads for that.
Is that
reason.
how it works? Like, I actually have never been a part of
Yeah,
a table
so
read.
for
So do you
every
all sit at one
episode-
big table and literally?
If we were all in the same place at the same time, that would be the case. A lot of times it's like some of us in the room and then some of us on Zoom, and like producers and writers
see.
on Zoom.
Right.
So it's a mix. It's a hybrid.
And does it go by episode? Like say like the episode
Yeah.
1 of season what have you? Do you literally go through the full episode together?
Yeah.
And like, okay.
Yeah. And sometimes
okay.
we'll do 2 episodes at a time. We don't usually, but occasionally we'll do 2 episodes at a time. But yeah, it's literally like
That's
someone
cool.
reads the stage directions, and then every character reads their words and says their things. And it just kind of like, it's like the first time you see it come to life. And
Right.
like, because it's such an ensemble of a cast, like there's so many bits and pieces of the show
Yeah.
where I'm not actually interacting with many people. Like I don't,
There's different storylines. Yeah.
yeah, like I don't interact with Scott often at all, because I never see him on set, because we have like 2 scenes together. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's the only time where you'll really like get the full view of like, oh, this is what's happening. This is what's going on at the crossing. So yeah, it's fun.
That's very
But
cool.
yeah.
Give us time, so we're gonna wrap things up with some.
Oh my gosh,
quick,
it's been an hour.
some quick rapid fire questions. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay, wait. Let me get my
So,
game face on. Think quick. Okay.
You just pick whichever you prefer of the 2. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's easy.
Timothy Chalamet or Brendan Sklenar?
Timothy Chalamet. That was easy.
Jacob Elordi or Austin Butler?
Oh no, don't make me choose. Oh, that's too hard. That's too hard. I feel, oh, this is too hard. Jacob Elordi. I say that with a cringe face, but yeah, it's true.
Hawaii vacation or Morocco?
Never been to either. I think I'd go to Morocco first. Although my best friend was in Hawaii and I really did want to visit her. So one day maybe.
Sound of Music or Wicked?
Wicked. Cynthia Erivo. I have to. Wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drake or Kendrick Lamar?
Kendrick. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Lindura. This has been such a fun Sunday morning. And just hearing your story, you're so inspiring. I mean, you are so young and yet such an old soul, and like, just like love having you here. So
Thank you for having me and asking me like wonderful, thoughtful, deep questions and allowing me to like spout off.
well, we
Thank you
can't
for
wait
coming
to
to
see
share.
how things progress for you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining. We hope you are feeling as inspired as we are to shake things up and drive positive change.
If you like what you heard, don't forget to subscribe and give us our show rating. We'll catch you on the next one.